Villainous by It's_Kingston on AO3. Episode 22. Chapter 15. Surprise. Taking a shortcut through a children's park to avoid UA security force with one of Japan's most wanted villains, while carrying trash bags full of stolen museum artifacts, wasn't exactly how Ochako suspected her Wednesday evening to go. Yet, there she was, leaning against a tree in the forest beside Toga, black bags littered around them like a failed community service project. Toga still held the box containing her present and looked eager to open it. 1 minute, I overused my quirk. A little. Ochako said, between breaths. She closed her eyes and tilted her head back against the tree. The 15 minutes spent while using her quirk to carry the bags of artifacts took a good amount of effort, especially after tipping that All Might statue. You all right? Toga put down the box and crouched down beside Ochako, who'd sunk into a sitting position at the base of the tree. I'm fine. Just a little dizzy. Ochako took a deep breath and opened her eyes, relieved to see that the world had stopped spinning. I'm all right. Good. Toga nodded and stood back up. Now, it's time for me to open my gift, then brief you on the next mission. She grabbed the box on the ground and twirled around to face Ochako again. She was grinning happily, and the hero assumed she was quite fond of presents. She took the lid off the light blue box, and although the moon had peeked in the sky, letting light through the trees, the design was harder to make out. Ochako watched a smile settle onto the villain's face as she removed her mask from the box. I knew it should have been there. She put it on. The dark blue fabric that connected tubing and vials covered her neck and chin. Ochako could still see her smile as Toga held out her hands to give the gravity hero up. Ochako accepted and was pulled first to her feet before being wrapped in a hug. Thanks, Choco. There was a long pause of silence where Ochako looked towards the moon and smiled, though she wasn't sure why. Probably because of the hug and the nickname, along with the way Toga smiled and something sharp, barely digging into her back, snapped her quickly back to her senses. Her first thought was to pull away, but Toga held her tightly, and pulling backwards would meant stabbing whatever poked her into her back fully. Don't move, hero. Toga didn't seem happy now. I've got a question for you. Earlier, you told me that the thing you originally wanted to take would incriminate you. That's why you took it all. So tell me. Toga removed the knife, and to Ochako's relief, she wasn't stabbed. The blonde shoved her backwards into a tree by the shoulder and hastily pressed the knife back to the hero's throat. Why would stealing my mask incriminate you? If my mask went missing, why would the heroes blame you? You have no ties to me, that they know of, unless you're working with them. Spy. Her tone was dark and sharp, eyes watching every minute's reaction and shuddering breath. This was a side of the villain Ochako hadn't seen now. She seemed hurt and angry, betrayed and torn. Yeah, I was supposed to work for UA to infiltrate the League of Villains, Ochako said, not making a move to get away. You're completely right. I was supposed to gather information on you and the League and turn you in. If she tried to hide it any longer, the truth would hurt Ochako more than it would telling it now. So that's what she'll do. She'll tell it like it is and see what happened. But I'm not sure where I stand now. Sure you don't. Toga pressed the knife down harder, pinching the skin and drawing a trickle of blood out. I knew you were no good. Give me a reason why I should let you live. I don't really have one. Other than if I was 100% with UA, I wouldn't have given you your mask back, or the bags full of weapons and old armor. Plus, I haven't told them anything about meeting with you or the League. They think I'm out here still trying to find you. Ochako said hastily, grabbing Toga's wrist and pushing against her. The blonde resisted by leaning harder, most likely trying to kill the hero. Yeah? That's the excuse you want to go down with. I cared about you, you know? I made sure to look out for you. That's just a lie. You threatened to kill me multiple times. That's not helping or caring or looking out for me. Those are threats. You made me kill someone. Ochako was mad now, her jaw locked and her teeth grounded together, mind spinning, with delicious insults and fire to spill. I didn't make you do anything. Maybe if you didn't have your heads up in the clouds, trapped in that stupid hero land you built, you might have realized not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Toga leaned against the knife, fully intending on running it through Ochako's neck. You could have been a hero too. No one told you to go off and be some idiot killing innocent people for laughs. What do your parents think of that? Huh? Ochako shouted back, returning the insult with a tone matching Toga's. The blonde seemed to blink at that, to lose any semblance of compassion she had left for the hero. She was seeing figurative red, and was on the track of seeing physical red too. What are you two doing? A voice caught their attention, though Toga didn't stop pushing the knife forward. It took a little while longer for Toga to speak. It looked as if she was fighting back tears, literally biting her tongue. She's a traitor, Shiggy. She admitted to it, saying that she was supposed to infiltrate the League and turn us in. She put on an angry front to mask the whirling of emotion that plagued her. Really now? We all thought that too. It's a shame, but it was an expected loss. He turned his head to the sky, gazing up at the moon. Though we could still use her, I suppose. What? Toga snapped to look at him, losing the grip on her knife in the process. Ochako took advantage of the situation to disarm the blonde, clutching Toga's knife shakily. The hero raised her free hand to her throat, feeling the slow trickle blood. She was scared that any further moves would be seen as malicious rather than in self-defense, so she waited. Silently, she watched, letting the anger subside as best as she could. I mean, if she hasn't chosen a side, she's influential. Think about it. She was willing to risk life and limb to find us, and make us trust her. But now, we've swayed her way of thinking. It's only a week. Shigaraki paused, looking at Ochako. That's what Karagiri said to me before I left. I'm glad I happened to hear this commotion while walking around. He chuckled lightly, hand finding its way to the side of his neck. I think that Negate isn't a hero, simply put. Even if she wanted to be, it's too late. She's taken a life, and stolen from her own hero school. Toga, who would have been staring at Ochako since the hero had taken her knife, nodded. I don't like her anymore, though. I hate her. That's fine. I'm sure that'll change soon enough. You two will be running a few errands for the League tomorrow anyways. Negate, or rather, Uraraka, how do you feel about taking a leave from school? Ochako wasn't sure how to react. Leaving UA to what? Stay with the League? That sounded terribly dangerous and unnecessary. Well, until she factored in the fact that Shigaraki was right. He was right in practically everything he said, although it was technically what Karagiri had told him. It's too late to go to pro, isn't it? She sighed. It was a rhetorical question, meant only to put the thought into the world, to finally face it, to stand eye to eye with the facts and accept them. She killed an innocent woman on purpose, knowing the woman hadn't done anything. She'd stolen weapons, armor, and other assorted artifacts from the place she was supposed to help. She'd given a wanted criminal her murder mask wag. It was the League or prison, huh? I don't really have another choice, unless I want to go to prison, Ochako said awkwardly. She flipped the knife around, holding it by the edge of the blade, and offered it out to Toga. The blonde snatched it, and was quickly pointing it at the hero's heart. I won't hesitate to kill you if I see you doing anything shifty. And say one more thing about my parents, or how they feel, and you'll end up dead faster than they did, Toga said sharply, It was clear she already made up her mind to do so, even if she didn't inform anyone of that decision. She turned to Shigaraki. The others need to know too. They trusted her too. She betrayed them too. Of course. Nagate will tell them once we get back. I'll make sure they don't kill her before we can see whether or not she deserves it. Shigaraki spoke calmly, though his body language was anything but. His hand scratched and gripped at the side of his neck as he thought. She does. Toga growled, storming off into the direction Shigaraki had come from. She feels strongly about this topic. He turned to Ochako, eyes patiently watching her moves. Though it's not my place to recall her life story, I'll tell you this very clearly. He raised a hand to his face, removing the mask-like hand that covered all but his eyes. Toga, Twice, Dabi, and Kirigiri are my only remaining family. If you so much as think about hurting them, you will not make it out alive. His voice granted a sternness that rivaled that of All Might's, as he stared at the hero. No, it was more like he stared into her, judging her. I understand. Ochako gulped, suddenly very nervous. Maybe it was just now sinking in how big of a mess this was, as Shigaraki placed his mask onto his face and began walking away. A scene from many nights ago played out in her mind. What, you finally realize how deep you're in? And it couldn't have been closer to the truth. You coming, Nagate? Shigaraki paused to look at the hero, who stood staring at the ground. Yeah, should I bring the bag of artifacts? She asked, gesturing to the several black bags that Toga had disregarded upon opening her gift. It was almost comedical sometimes, how quickly things went from bad to worse. No. Leave them here, and hurry up. Shocked. What? What? Okay. What? Okay. So, I knew that Ochako was no longer fully of hero mindset. I mean, some of her actions, right? I mentioned them as I noticed them, and I noticed moments and stuff like that where it's like, hey, Ochako, you're not thinking like a hero. You're not a hero anymore, at least not fully, right? Sure, maybe you still think that, it's better to be good, but your morals have shifted. Your morals have twisted. You're no longer the same person from the beginning, You're lying to your friends. You're lying to your teachers who are supposed to know about this. You're lying to everyone, right? And you're actively doing these stuff, right? Also, I just realized how absolutely horrid this is gonna be for the ship. We're not gonna get a kiss anytime soon. Damn it! I want that kiss! God damn it! I thought Toga was gonna see the mask and be, oh, hee hee ha ha, time to kiss. But no, Toga has a point. I think it was really smart of Toga to realize, be perceptive in that point where it's like, hey, wait, hold up. Why would stealing this incriminate you? Right? This is also probably a moment that probably broke Toga's heart. Because, you have to think about it. Toga was probably already developing feelings for Ochako, right? And part of her knew that, hey, maybe this hero might, be traitorous. She said so in her own monologues and stuff like that. But there is a difference between, oh, this could be a possibility to, oh, shit. They're being traitorous. They are betraying me. They're hurting me. And, stuff like that, right? Where it's like, it's one thing to think it, it's another thing for it to be true. You can think about, for example, when you have those moments of thinking that, your friend or your partner or whatever, thinking of something being like, this might be the outcome, this might be the reasoning, this might be what's gonna happen. And then when it happens, you have that moment of, I knew it. But it's like, I fucking hate that I was right. It's that double-edged sword of, yeah, I was right, I predicted this, but at the same time, even though I knew it was coming, that does not mean that I was prepared for it, right? Toga probably knew it was coming, probably knew it was gonna happen. But that does not mean that Toga was prepared for the heartbreak that was gonna ensue because of it. There is a difference between knowing and being ready for the actual thing that happens, right? Sorry, I'm crocheting as I'm saying this, and I couldn't find the stitch, and then there's like fucking light shining through in my eye, and it's annoying as fuck. I always hate it when the light just shines into my eye when I'm trying to see this. Like, stop. Shit, I just dropped all my tarot cards. That wasn't the smartest or brightest move I have played. So we're gonna ignore that. Oh, can I do this? Can I do that? Can that? There you go, and it's gonna be forever sealed. And I'm gonna, oh, look at my tarot cards. Okay, great, amazing, wonderful. It was just the box that it was kept in. Okay, good. I would be upset if it was my tarot cards, so that would be a pain in the ass to clean up. Okay, but I think, Kingston, is this what you mean by angsty just for being angsty? Which, if so, I mean, it's not angst just to being angst. I know that there's sometimes where it's like, oh my god, this angst came out of left field, right? And some people, like, those who are saying, like, this does come out of left field. Toga knew the entire time, as I mentioned before. Just because you know or you predict something's gonna happen does not mean that you are actually mentally prepared for you to be right, right? Just because you see the signs of your cheating husband, when you find out that your husband is cheating, like, fully get the evidence, that does not mean you're not gonna break out sobbing. Because just because you predicted it does not mean that you are ready for the prediction to become reality, right? It's one thing to overthink about something and worry about something, and it's another thing for that thing to come true. So some people might be saying, like, this is out of left field, it's coming out of nowhere, you know, why is Toga so, you know, heartbroken about this? You also have to think about Toga as a character. Toga as a character is a character that just wants to be accepted, wants to be loved. They like love. They are driven by the human need of acceptance and validations. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Toga is a character that draws to me as a very tragic character in the sense of, you know, her whole mentality of like, oh, I want to become the person I love. She wants to become the person she loves in my idea of who Toga is and Toga as a character, because she wants to become who she loves, because that is someone whom she loves. Therefore, that is someone who is capable of receiving love from others. So if she becomes like the person she loves, she in turn will get love, right? That is why she's doing what she does. She is a character driven by validation. She just wants someone to love her. She wants someone to care. She wants someone to love her. And in the end, even if somebody loves her for, you know, the pretend person she becomes, in the end, it was not going to be enough. Psychologically speaking, in reality, she might say, oh, I want to become the person I love, right? What in reality she means is she wants someone to love her for who she is. But that can't happen. So she's going to become another person so that she could at least get half of what she wanted, to be loved. Maybe not as who she is, but it's the closest she's going to get, right? So for me, that is what Toga is. That is Toga as a character. So imagine a character who's driven by that, love, being validated, and finds this person, Ochako, who seems to be like her friend, right? Who's giving her these gifts, who's doing all these stuff and hanging out, called her cute, which is a big thing for Toga. She loves cute stuff. She loves to be cute. And she has, in her mind, Toga's thinking like, oh, she's probably working for the heroes. Haha, she's probably working for the heroes. And then hears it from, like, fully sees the mask, plus what Ochako said was like, oh, you know, if I steal only this, it'll be incriminating for me, right? Like, dude, I'm saying this now. Like, that is heartbreaking for Toga. That is a heart-wrenching soccer punch for Toga. Because you could tell that she was already falling for Ochako. She already loves Ochako, and she thought for a moment that Ochako loved her back. Even though in her mind, in the back of her mind, she's like, oh, she's probably, you know, a traitor. For that to become true, it's a soccer punch, as I said. Just because you predicted it doesn't mean you want that just because you predicted it does not mean you want it to come true. And those who are saying it came out of left field, No, it did not. Alright, psychologically speaking, the building blocks were there. It is very angsty, and I feel like it's gonna become more angsty as we go. So I have a feeling we're not getting that kiss anytime soon. Damn it. Damn it! No! Okay, I went on a whole rant. Kingston, I'm just gonna say this. I am defending your writing till the end of time. Nothing you do can make me hate your writing. As always, Marion Jobs, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.